When I was a young boy, I grew up in this area. At this time, 6,000 people were working at Zollverein, the largest coal mining city in Europe. I played soccer on red clay, and you can still find the small stones in my knees even today. 20% of my schoolmates were migrants, and we had lots of fun, and the economy was growing. And I grew up at my grandmother and lived also there. And every time I came back for lunch, I could smell the fantastic taste of a really nice prepared meal. And I still have it in mind even today, where I'm standing here. And maybe this is the reason why I started to become a hobby chef. And I invite frequently friends and also entrepreneurs to my startup kitchen. In the old times, the problems we had, they were quite, for me it was easy. A linear approach of hard work paved the way to success. But the problems today are wicked. Not quite sure if everybody understands what wicked problems are. How do we cope with the autocracy in the United States since this week? 1 degree in climate change makes up to 7% more air in the water, as we could see in Spain last week, northern Italy, East Europe over the summer. And I heard just in the news that the Climate Act in Paris will be denied by the US. Even in this region here, North Rhine-Westphalia, every day 15 companies are filing bankruptcy. In the last 6 months, 2,700 companies went out of business. And how do we solve these problems? And we have in the room experts from all different areas, industry, geographical areas, academical backgrounds. And I think today I invite you in my kitchen to cook a little bit, because it's close to lunch. And as you can see, I'm a seasonal chef. I like to combine different ingredients, and maybe you bring some ingredients and you bring ingredients, and we have a perfect meal. And it helps also for my entrepreneurs that I combine in with different knowledge, different know-how out of your area. Because if I would ask, Jochen, how many times do you work out of the medical area in the manufacturing? I think you have a water treatment discussion right now, completely different area, and what I'm saying, these problems need our joint efforts. And I have 3 things which I give my entrepreneurs always with me. One is, start your minimum viable product really fast, and even use the best AI tools, as my neighbor cook is using a Thermomix. Secondly, don't write any cookbooks. Start cooking immediately. Do it. At this time, number 3, it doesn't matter if you're a startup, a big company, corporation, small and medium enterprise. The only thing which counts is the velocity you bring your product to market and the execution of your team. And we are moving right now, and it's heating up. So we are getting, when you come into cooking, you will also get the experience with the critics. In sales, we call it customer feedback. But here we have the chef critics, really critical people. And I could observe, I had the luxury to work sometimes behind the scenes as a kitchen boy, and I could see how the chef was connected to the waiters and gets the feedback from the customers really fast. And sometimes it was about dietary information, sometimes it was presentation, and sometimes I see even the whole plates coming back to the kitchen. But what do I take out of this? Sometimes do not listen too close to your customer, because otherwise you don't get your product ready. many cooks spoil the broth, as we say. Huh? And also be important that you understand also the management of waste. And in my terms, AI is computing power. I saw many chefs running out of business because their production costs were too high. And now it's heating up. We are coming closer to the main menu. And now you have to bring 50 plates at the same time. No? And you can imagine, not me, but many chefs work on conferences, have to serve within 20 minutes, all meats well cooked to the same time, as precise as a doctor in the hospital. And if you are a young entrepreneur with your startup team, make sure that all your team players, all positions, they know their task, know what they have to do at what time. Because working on the other side at startups, I see many startups are more flexible and their intention is to have a really adaptive team. But at this point, it's more make sure that you have a team where everybody else understands in this position he has to do when the heat comes to the kitchen. And now we're coming to my favorite dish, which is a kind of fusion cooking. I was living in California, traveled in 55 countries, and always took different ingredients with me, and I mixed it, put some more spices, adjusted it. However, at many times, and it happened to me last week, all the plates came back to my kitchen because there was so much spices in it. And what is the most fusion cooking of this area? I think you've seen it yesterday when you came here. I saw it on your plates. Do you know it? The fusion cooking of the Ruhrgebiet area? Any idea? Hey, there's somebody who gets invited this evening. It's the currywurst, a combination between Indian spices, American ketchup, and German sausage. And therefore, I always advise my startup teams, my entrepreneurs teams, to use the diverse team to get the best result for their product. And you are here with different competences. And I give you one example. When you are a diverse team and you have also a diverse customer team, I'm quite sure that you can easily adapt the feedback and bring it back into product development. Number two, if you want to scale up internationally and you already have a diverse team, they are much more flexible also for change and for adaptation. And keep in mind, what maybe 3 months ago in our time has been a no, could be nowadays a yes. And we hear it every day, this didn't work. Forget it, 3 months is in our times a long period of time to say no. Number three, if you have also a diverse team in your kitchen, it helps you, and I see some of investors here in the group, especially if it comes to ESG investment, diverse team are higher rated, and I would like to bring this together with you in our menu. How does it taste so far? You still hungry? Still hungry? There's one more thing which I think comes over spices, over recipes and cooking technique. And this is what I call, it's cooking with my heart, cooking with love, because you have to always bring, if I see companies and they don't have emotions, I see that the meal is probably not well cooked. And this combination between passion and also technical deep tech AI helps us to bring out the better companies, faster to market, and new technical innovation. And for me, it's always a cultural balance between having a really diverse team and also technical innovation fits quite well together if you do it with love. And today, I brought you and you cooked of me halfway with, I brought you a menu which you will not forget, even if we are probably leaving this afternoon and you will still smell the taste when you're on your way home. And this menu will show you, and I eat it also in 20 years from now, when I'm old. Probably I'm old, but in 20 years I will still remember it. And let's see how AI has reacted to this. And that's me in 20 years. And here are some challenges right now I would like to solve with you, and feel free to contact me after this presentation.
世界如何看待智能手机芯片故障引发的中美科技战 كيف يكون الشعور بالعيش في الظلام بعد أن أصبح ثاني أكسيد الكبريت دائما في طبقة الاستراتوسفير لحماية الأرض من ارتفاع درجة الحرارة. Und lieber Frank, hast du deinen Traum erfüllt, ein eigenes Restaurant zu eröffnen und dein Kochbuch mit dem Titel Startup Kitchen ist zum Bestseller geworden? And finally, did you invite the audience of your TEDxHelenen Park to your startup kitchen and cooked delicious, sustainable ventures?
Thank you. You're all invited to my kitchen. Join me.